everybody. So I hope everyone is holding up fine during this coronacation. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I know it's stressing a lot of people out. But this video I honestly just had to make because I need to confirm it with everyone that I'm back on Animal Jam PC and have been back for quite a while now. I rejoined it in like mid-December. I guess people didn't get the memo when I made my I'm back future of my channel video. I guess I just didn't make it clear that I was officially back on Animal Jam PC, but I am, and I need to explain the real reason why I left, because I don't want to look like that total weirdo who just quit Animal Jam PC, joined Play Wild, didn't like it, and then came running back to PC like some weird clown. That's not what happened. I'm going to explain the real reason why I left Animal Jam PC, and I'm going to warn you, the reason is so much deeper than I made it out to be. I threw fog at the situation because the actual reasons why I left PC were life-threatening. I know, that escalated quickly, but that's the level of danger it was and why I had to leave in August. And I'm gonna warn you, this video gets really deep and the reasoning behind it may depress some people, but come on, at this point, I'm not really a channel directed towards kids anymore. I'm more so general audience and teens, so if you're a really little kid, just click off this video if you can't handle depressing backstories. Okay, we ready? Alright, here we go. So, the concern started around March. So I was doing a live stream at the beginning of March 1st, 2019, and there was this thing going around that referral codes could get your account banned. And when I was in the middle of a live stream, my account got referred like 20 times in 3 minutes, and I panicked. I didn't show it during the stream, but on the inside I felt my heart racing, and I felt like I was gonna throw up. So shortly after I said, I gotta go guys, I'm gonna end the stream, and after that night, I developed an irrational fear of live streaming because of the things that could happen while you're streaming. But that wasn't the worst that was going to happen. Things were about to get much worse in the coming months. That was just the first sign. I hope you paid attention to the racing heart. That's an important detail. So fast forward to my birthday, April 6th, 2019. Now normally every year I do a birthday live stream, as you know. If you've been on my channel since 2017, you know that I do a birthday live stream every year. But last year on my birthday, I didn't even do that, because the whole day I was not feeling well. I honestly felt my heart racing the whole day. When I tried to eat my birthday dinner, I felt like throwing up. I literally could not eat, and I just didn't know why. I thought I was just stressed out about school. That's what it always was, right? And I thought it was AJ stress too, which is pretty minimal compared to real life things, but I didn't know what it was. I just wasn't feeling well. So I chose not to stream that day. I know these all sound like extraneous details, but I'm leading up to the really, really bad things that happened later in the year. It was like a gradual process. So all throughout April and May, I kept on getting anxious, like my heart was racing uncontrollably. I really didn't know why. Things weren't that bad other than the fact that I wasn't doing well in school, and AJ was dying at the time, so everything just looked like it was on a downward curve. But it's not like I was living a terrible life. I was perfectly fine. I had a house to live in, I had school to go to. There was no reason I had to complain. Yet for some reason, as the summer months went on, I felt like I was just slowly dying because I kept feeling uncomfortable. I kept getting anxious. If you remember from the stress of making an AJ series video, all the stress that went into making season 3 of Life is Full of Phantoms, and all the technical problems and the health issues that I experienced that summer, like the kidney stone, ugh, that was horrible. I was like, what is going on here? What could be the cause of all this stress? And at the end of summer, I came to a very depressing conclusion, and it broke my heart. I couldn't handle it, but I realized it was Animal Jam PC that was causing all the stress. The game was dying. Everything was going wrong. I was tired of worrying about the fate of the game, and I thought that this was the reason I had to leave it behind. I thought my health was going to improve after I left the game behind and just moved to Play Wild, because Play Wild was in a great spot in the summer. Like, it was growing, it was getting updates. Things were going pretty well in Play Wild in the summer. So I thought, I'm just going to have to let Animal Jam PC go for the better of my health. or so I thought at the time. So I made a video that is now unlisted. It was titled, Why I Moved to Animal Jam Play Wild, and everything I said in that video was a lie. I can't even... I don't agree with anything I said in that video. I did not lose interest in Animal Jam PC. Sure, I was distressed to see its position and how it was doing at the time, but I was not tired of AJPC. I really desperately wanted to stay, but my health was just plummeting and AJ Play Wild was doing so well that I had really no choice. I thought it was going to help my channel. I thought things were going to go well, so as hard as it was, I let go of PC. And let me tell you, letting go of something you love just because of health problems, that's really hard on you. It hurts a lot, but I did it anyways, and I lied and told everyone, I'm quitting the game because I lost interest. I did not lose interest. I promise you that. And I wasn't going to admit that to everyone, because how stupid does it sound to say, I'm quitting because this game is bad for my health? It sounds stupid and illogical. Things seemed okay in August. My health was suddenly doing a little bit better. I was on Play Wild and I loved the game, but I missed AJPC. I couldn't deny it. I really missed it. But I thought it was what was best. Then in September, I was proven wrong. It was not AJPC that was causing the stress, because at the beginning of September, I started to feel worse than I ever had during the summer and spring months of 2019. I was having migraines and throwing up because of them. I had to take deep breaths at least 50 times a day because I would start feeling over-the-top anxious. You know, panic attacks? Imagine having them multiple times in a day and you have to take deep breaths to calm yourself down. That's what was going on at the beginning of September. I didn't tell anyone because I wanted to hide it. I wanted to tell everyone, I'm happy I'm Play Wild, life is great, I'm so glad I made this change. But in reality, no, I wasn't much happier. I just said, you're just a worry freak, Ellipsity, and you need to calm down. You left AJPC, your problems are gone. So I lived by that logic, continuing to fool myself, until the week the plushies came out. September 19th, 2019 is when the Jambassador plushies were released. This seemed like a cool addition, right? Wrong. Literally just 6 days later, on September 25th, 2019, I was logging on AJPC because I wanted to see how many people were asking for a Jambassador plushie. And oh my god, I had like 50 Jamagrams. I have never been that overflowed with Jamagrams before, because not that many people feel they need to spam message me. But I had 50 something Jags asking for plushies, and that's when I had a full-blown panic attack. I couldn't breathe for like 15 minutes that night. My heart was racing so bad, I thought I was dying. My vision was blurry, and I thought, what is going on? And after that, I said, no more AJPC. If people want plushies, they're gonna have to do it the hard way. They're going to have to watch episodes of Pause and Flaws, write responses on them, and they're gonna have to earn them fairly. I know it was pretty harsh and mean of me to go that route, but it's what I had to do, because getting overloaded with people asking for plushies, that was bad on my mental health. It made me panic, like over-the-top panic. Like, something as simple as that should not cause you to have a panic attack, and your heart should not race over something like that. So I said, okay, we need to set some boundaries here about the plushies. And I know you're probably thinking, why didn't you just put the plushies in the claw? Because I am against that logic of giving people plushies that they had to work for and then letting everyone else have them for free. I don't think that's fair. So I went with my morals and said, we're going to do this the right moral way. People will work for these plushies. You're not going to resort to peer pressure because that makes you look weak and spineless. And I didn't want to look weak and spineless, so I stood my ground and said, you're going to work for these plushies. I was terrified that it was going to upset people, but on the outside I kept this tough demeanor and said, nope, stand your ground, mean business. So I did that, and it worked out for a while. Things were chill in October, and then November came along, and the heart palpitations came back, full circle, worse than ever. Like, I couldn't breathe. I felt like my chest was always in pain. I was fatigued. I was always tired. And I said, oh my god, you're just stressing over finals again. You're such a worry freak, Ellipsity. I kept telling myself, worry freak, you're a worry freak. Until finally, things caught up with me. Middle of December, and this is where the story gets really dark, so buckle up. It was December 15th, 2019. It was a very chill evening. I was studying for my finals, listening to music, just excited that the semester was going to end soon. I had no reason to suddenly feel panicky. Then, as I looked at my study guide, I saw, oh my god, there's an entire page I forgot to do, and my final exam is on Tuesday. How am I going to study all of this in just a day? So I started to panic. Only this time it was not just an ordinary panic. It was what I felt on September 25th, but amplified. This was much worse. My chest felt like there were fists of fire punching it repeatedly, non-stop. I couldn't sleep with it. It hurt to breathe. My vision started getting fuzzy, and that was scary to me. Like, if your vision's getting fuzzy and you're getting lightheaded, that's like the feeling you get after you run a marathon, and that's what I was feeling non-stop. It wasn't going away. I tried drinking water. I tried going to sleep. Up until around 1 a.m. when I realized I wasn't falling asleep. My chest was involuntarily jolting. Like, I could feel it, I could see it, and like I was losing control of my own movement. Because as I was breathing, my chest was jolting. It's almost like there was something in there punching to get out of my chest. That was my heart racing up to 250 beats per minute, as I would find out when I arrived at the hospital. So I said, okay, I'm going to the hospital. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like I'm gonna die. So I went to the hospital. They freaked out, and you know it's bad when doctors freak out. They said, okay, we need to put you in a wheelchair. Your heart rate is accelerating to 240 beats per minute. That's how it started. So they put me in a wheelchair, and when they put me in the bed, I wasn't more relaxed. I was just more worried. They put the heart monitor on, and I watched it rise up, like from 241 to 242 up to 250. It was frightening to watch. They tried giving me medicines to stop the heart rate. It wasn't stopping. It was only going faster. And everyone around me, all these doctors, were crowding around, panicking, not knowing what to do. Then finally, someone stepped in and said, we're going to have to resort to cardioversion, which is this technique they use where they put pads on your chest and send an electric shock to your heart through wires. And that thought made me freak out inside. I was like, oh no, I don't want to get shocked. How is that going to feel? Until I was put at ease, they told me, we're going to give you ketamine so you don't remember anything. If you don't know what ketamine is, it's this drug that can tranquilize horses. It's that powerful. So they put me on ketamine. I was knocked out in like 3 seconds flat, and they shocked my heart. I didn't know what was going on, because after I was basically knocked out, I started seeing strobe lights. Repeated, flashing, extremely bright strobe lights, and patterns and swirls, and the cosmos and space. It was like some weird movie. And when I woke up, everyone was wobbly. I heard voices saying, are you with us? Are you there? Like, I know what this sounds like. Life is Full of Phantoms, Season 4, Episode 1, Soul Abuser. It sounds like the Exorcist sequence, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what inspired it. Literally, there were doctors there asking me, are you with us? Hello, are you with us? And I couldn't respond. I was just moaning. The whole room was spinning wildly. Everyone looked like weird. Like, everyone was changing shape. I can't describe it. But shortly after, I was able to start making out sentences. And I started speaking like a cowboy. No joke. I started spewing out a bunch of random stuff in a cowboy accent. And everyone was laughing, but I wasn't embarrassed because I didn't even know what I was doing. I wasn't conscious. I was just in another universe, a completely alter ego, and I didn't even feel any embarrassment for it. It's like that was a natural part of me, and that's the freakiest part. I had no control of what I was saying or doing. Then finally, I regained consciousness, the spinning of the room stopped, I was able to speak normally again, and I just was out like a light. And I woke up the next morning to the doctors telling me, what you have is a heart arrhythmia. It's an irregular heartbeat where your heart either beats too quickly or too slowly. And that's dangerous because with something that serious, if your heart rate is not treated, if it continues to rise up, your blood pressure could clot. And when the blood pressure clots and goes to your brain, you have a stroke or a heart attack, and you die. I would have died. I was going to die if they didn't treat that. Like, I was so close to death that night. Because I flatlined after they shocked me for 40 seconds, and a flatline basically means your heart rate stops. I basically almost died that night. I didn't tell anyone this because I didn't want to freak anyone out. It was the week before Christmas. People wanted to be happy and just enjoy the holiday season. I didn't tell anyone publicly because why would I want to worry anyone like that? I'm not evil. I don't do that. But it got so bad to the point where they told me, you need to have surgery. You're coming in here Christmas Eve because that's the nearest surgery date, and we're going to resolve this. You're going to have surgery on your heart, because what was going on was, in my heart, there was an electrical pathway. You know, in everyone's heart, there's an electrical pathway that sends signals to keep your heart pumping normally. And with a heart arrhythmia, there's an extra pathway that causes it to short circuit. So what happened was my heartbeat, it short circuited, and it was beating way too quickly, to the point where I could have died from it. And they said the only way to get rid of that was to cauterize. Basically, they had to put a tube in my throat and burn off that extra tissue that was causing the extra heartbeat. I know this sounds like some disturbing science fiction movie. That's why I said at the beginning of the video, don't watch if you can't handle depressing, dark, scary stuff, because this is what happened. They had to cauterize the tissue, and they would do that the next week. So that whole week before my surgery, I told everyone, I'm going to have surgery. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not going to die. And if I do, you'll know why. But I didn't want to tell anyone how severe it was. People still worried, but I didn't go into detail of how severe it actually was, because it was pretty bad. I just didn't tell anyone. So I went to the surgery Christmas Eve, and things went well, as you can see by this story post.
Hello everyone, Merry Christmas. Just wanted to let you know I survived the procedure. Just as you know, I was knocked out for a while, but I'm okay, I promise. I just really weak and I gotta rest. But I'll be out of the hospital tomorrow morning. I don't know, tomorrow afternoon, but I'll be okay. I hope you guys didn't worry too much, but you know, just in case I was going to be asleep or not able to respond to messages, I just didn't want anyone to worry, but I promise I'm okay. I just have to sleep here overnight because I'm incredibly weak and I can't really move around. The only thing I can move around are my arms, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was me in the hospital that day. I was so weak, I had never felt so fatigued, but I learned in the end from all this experience that it was not Animal Jam. It was not my overthinking. It wasn't anxiety. I had an actual heart condition that nearly killed me. I nearly died from it. And if I had probably stayed on Animal Jam PC during those months, something would have set it off. And it wasn't the game's fault. It was nobody's fault. It's just when you have a condition like that, you go into fight or flight mode. And every time someone asked me for a plushie, I kept going into fight or flight mode. And I had to stay on Play Wild, because nobody was messaging me on Play Wild. I have my buddy list empty there. So that can't even happen on Play Wild. Everything was chill over there. Even though I missed PC, that's why I went to Play Wild, because no one was there to bug me for plushies. But yeah, if I have been tough about plushies and not understanding that people want them, I'm sorry. It's just every time people ask me for plushies in September and October, I panicked and had really severe panic attacks. Heart rates rising up too high, and I never knew why. I was like, how can a game cause this so much stress? And it wasn't the game. It was nobody's fault but my heart issue, because I was physically going into fight or flight mode. I was physically dying. And that's why at the beginning of the video I said the reason I left PC for a few months was because it was a life-threatening issue. And I didn't even know it at the time until December. So if there's anything I learned from this, it's that life is precious. If you're feeling unhealthy, if you're feeling abnormal, if you're feeling over the top exhausted and you just don't feel safe, if you're always anxious, you need to see a doctor. You need to tell someone. You need to speak up when you're having health issues so they don't worsen like that. Because I kept silent about it. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell anyone that it was that severe, and I almost died. You would have never heard from me again. I would have just randomly vanished, and knowing that makes me feel so remorseful, and that's the main reason I'm making this video. I left PC and I lied to you guys, and I'm so sorry. I just wanted to hide how severe things really were, because I was going to die if things weren't treated. And now that I'm back on PC and I've been healed from the heart surgery, which by the way took about 3 weeks, I had to be constantly resting after the surgery. And now that that's finally over and I survived, I could not be happier that I'm still able to talk to you guys. I'm finally not panicking anymore when I go on Animal Jam. I've been happier since the surgery happened, because it took away that issue in my heart that was causing me to panic at the smallest of things. I almost had to quit Animal Jam completely because it was so bad for my health, and it wasn't even Animal Jam's fault. It's just the little Animal Jam stresses were adding to the health problems. Like, my health problems were making things so much more severe than they had to be. If any of this happened now, I would handle it so much better. And that's probably why you've noticed I've been more confident, I've been happier lately, I've been interacting with fans more, because it's not unhealthy for me anymore. I've grown stronger because of this heart surgery. And if there's anything you should get from this video, it's, please, if you have a healthy life, if you have your family, if no one's sick, and you're stressing over this coronavirus thing, please count your blessings. Focus on what you have, not what you could lose, because life is so precious, and it could be gone in an instant. I got so lucky to be able to survive past that night of December 16th, because if it weren't for that, if it weren't for barely making it out alive, if it weren't for them using the electric cardioversion, you would have never heard from me. I don't know how anyone else would have spread the information on the morning of December 16th that I was gone. I don't know how anyone would have spread that, because there was no way. I didn't tell anyone that it was that severe. So it would have been a mystery that I died. And that alone is chilling for me. I should have made this video months ago to ease the guilt, but I didn't have the guts. I didn't want to seem like I was looking for attention. I really wanted to just pretend it didn't happen and continue on with my usual video making schedule, because I care about you guys and I don't want to disrupt your happy little circle in life to talk about my problems. But because everyone is having a crisis with this whole COVID-19 thing, this is the only time that I feel like I can open up about it and let you guys know that even though things are bad right now, please appreciate life. Appreciate your family. If you have a loving family, food on the table, clothes on your back, everything you need to survive, please appreciate that, because it could be taken away in an instant. So those who are complaining that things are so bad right now because of COVID-19, when they have all that they need and want to survive, but just can't go outside, please try to think of the bigger picture. Some people are dying. Some people are on the edge of death, fighting for their lives, while there are other people who have everything they need to survive and yet are complaining. I'm not undermining anyone's struggles. It's okay to be worried in this situation. It's human nature. But please, take this difficult time to count your blessings. Appreciate what you have, because it could be gone at any moment. And that's what I learned from my experience in December and my Christmas Eve surgery. I had to miss Christmas for that surgery. But it was worth it, because it took care of the problem. And I could not be happier that I'm still here, able to make content for you guys, and hopefully providing some sort of relief during this difficult time in the world, in this community at least. Please remember everything I said. Appreciate your blessings. Life is precious. Cherish every moment. I know this was just a video of me talking about me leaving PC and why I left, but it turned into something like this because the reason I left really was life-threatening. I was always having panic attacks playing AJPC, and it wasn't even the game's fault. It was just the fact that I had a heart condition making me overreact at tiny things, and I learned that soon enough. Because I'm playing the game perfectly fine now, and I could not be happier because I would have had to quit. If AJPC really was the cause of that much stress, I would have just had to leave, and you would have never heard from me again. I would have also left Play Wild, because being on Play Wild wasn't helping it either. Like I said, in September, I was already on Play Wild, and the health issues were worsening, not getting better. So, it was not either game. And I'm sorry I lied about losing interest. I really didn't. I just did what I thought was right for my health. But I've missed AJPC so much. I am so glad to be back. I will still continue to make the rest of Pause and Flaws and Play Wild, but after that, I won't be making any more Play Wild videos because I've pretty much outgrown Play Wild. PC is my home. I'm sorry that I denied it and said that it really was something I'd outgrown, because I hadn't, but I'm here today, perfectly happy, and I'm ready to make you all smile during this difficult time. Hang in there, guys. Things look rough right now, and I don't want to say that they could be worse, but please appreciate your blessings. Unless someone's actually sick or dying, or if you're sick and things are actually really tough for you right now, like personally, if you have the worst case scenario of this COVID situation, I can see why you'd be worried and panicking, but those who are blessed, please appreciate that. Take this time to bond with your family, play with your dogs or pets if you have any. Make the most of staying home. You don't have to go to school. Try to make the best of it, if you can, of course. And that, I must admit, is why I didn't even panic about COVID-19. It's scary and I feel for the rest of the world, but since no one in my family is dying and I'm not dying, there's no reason for me to actually stress. I'm just doing what I need to do to survive. That's what we all have to do, because stressing and panicking won't help. It just ruins your health worse. And that's what I learned from all this heart arrhythmia situation, panicking and stressing and letting fear-based media affect you like that. It can kill you. It can literally be the death of you. And I literally almost died because I was letting it get to me so much. Don't go down that path. Do not let fear-based media cause your death. It can happen, especially if you have underlying health conditions. This is what stress does to people, and I want people to realize that. And yeah, that's it for this video. I mean, I had a lot to say because how else could I have put it? Something people needed to hear. Thanks for sticking to the end, and hang in there, guys.